Can we go specific to shaft measurement, though? And maybe give us a bit of, we can dig a little deeper, but give us that overview of sort of where your strengths are in that space.
Yeah, well, I think for folks who aren't into the shaft game, shaft measurement, shaft management right now is a very manual process. It's time consuming and it's risky because you're putting workers in the shaft to take measurements every 100 feet or so and to try and understand that the condition of the shaft is stable and safe and will not put people in the cage at risk. So, that is the, I'm sure there's people watching who will question my terminology. And again,
I've heard that a couple times today.
I disclose, not a mining guy, a technologist. But you've got the skips in the cage and the auxiliary cage. I mean, it's the artery of that site. No skips, no material to surface, no cage, no workers underground. So you want to keep that particular artery very clean and very functional. And right now, to do that, you have to physically, manually inspect it and measure it and take action accordingly. Valet approached us 2 years ago and said, it was probably 2.5 years ago, and said, can you take your drone, fly it down there, do a scan of the darn thing for us so we don't have to measure it with a laser every 100 feet? And we tried that. We did a 3,000 feet in an hour and a half, which typically is an entire shift. So we saved them, 11 hours of man time and shaft outage. But the accuracy wasn't enough. So over the past couple of years, we've created a millimeter accuracy approach that actually now creates a digital shaft asset that measures every millimeter of that compartment.
Wow.
Skips, shaft, cage, auxiliary cage, etc. And so now they have essentially, I guess the best way, most people understand that sort of a medical comparison, if you got an X-ray versus an MRI, we provide the MRI of the shaft.
Right.
Tons and tons of digital data that creates an auditable, accurate moment in time of that shaft. We can do it in increments in terms of we can take 2 hours one day and 3 hours the next day. There's no outage. There's nobody in the shaft. And we're creating a millimeter accurate model that does something even manual process can't do, which is guide alignment. So the two main guides that the cage runs on or the skip runs on, if they get out of alignment and things get rough in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, parts break down, repairs are required when the shaft's not working, the mine site's not producing. We can do guide alignment in real time with this digital scan and ensure that none of that ever happens. So it's in my opinion, it's one of the things that that was not our intention as a company. It was not our intention with LiDAR. But we evolved into it by experimenting with the drone and the in-motion stuff. And again, people say, well, Mike, that's not doing it. The problem's not solved. Well, that is like blood in the water to us. What do you mean the problem's not solved? This is what we do. We'll solve it. Give us some time. And they began to collaborate with us, and that's how we solved that problem.